Julius Randle, man. Julius Randle went crazy yesterday. Shout out to Carl. Carl let the whole chat know. Dude, Julius Randle got 50 in 3 quarters. So Julius Randle finished with 57, but took an L still to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's without Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. So is Julius Randle overrated, underrated? That's been like the theme for his whole career. Well, not his whole career, these last 3 years. Is he underrated? All right. So, Tomo, is he?
Some would say he is, but I think it was them Laker years that messed up his career. I think it was that first start, that draft him 7th overall pick, that Lakers team just trying to find their way. And I think he was there. He was there a little bit with Kobe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he
Towards
was there.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he had the Lonzo Ball. He was there with Lonzo. And then
Uh-huh.
I think LeBron traded everybody to get AD, and he ended up with the Pelicans, right? So it was something about that dark cloud of the Lakers era with him that probably has people just being like, oh, it's Julius Randle. Then he goes down to the Pelicans. He revives his career. Everyone's showing kind of similar with what Brandon Ingram's doing. Once you get from out of that LA shadow with LeBron, you're more like, oh, I can hoop a little bit. The pressure's off. Like, I can just be myself. Then you start to see his game develop a little bit more. I think down there when he was with the Pelicans, he was averaging like 21, 22 points a game, 8 rebounds. I mean, that's
numbers.
a great increase, right? So imagine what happens when he goes to the Knicks. Right now, he's having the best years. He playing the best from the Lakers to the Pelicans to the Knicks. This is his best moment right here with the Knicks. But again, it's the dark cloud. It's the dark cloud of being with a franchise that's known for being like a laughing stock. Like, no one really plays the Knicks that much attention. But right now, he's been balling. You speaking about 50-point games? I still got PTSD from what he did to the Wizards fresh off of that All-Star break. Like, he almost dropped 50 on the Wizards. So, and I don't think that's his only game we had 50. It's probably like 2 or 3 more games where he almost had close to 50 or above 50 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with the Knicks, he was a 2-time All-Star, second team All-NBA. I think it was anyone most improved here. So right here is a bright spot for his career, but it's not a bright spot because it's with the Knicks. Until the Knicks like get back in the playoffs, like make a run in the playoffs, because they lost to Trae Young, and that kind of hurt them. You know what happens when you get there. The playoffs are where you make your name. Like you said, Joe, with the Kings, you like, if we can get in the playoffs, we get more televised games, people gonna start respecting us a little bit more. The more and more the Knicks start actually winning with Brunson. Now they got Josh Hart. The team is actually learning out of jail. Man. Also, let me throw this out here one thing too. The Knicks had that great run. They made the playoffs, then they fell off last year. Now they're back. So I think that fall off, if you would have kept it consistent, be more consistent, then people will start talking about you more. I think it's more so with the Knicks. Yes, he's underrated. I take Julius Randle on my team. I know you probably would as well. Not trading for Sabonis, but just to add him to the Knicks, you would love it. So,
So, all right. So in the regular season, I think that he is in the regular season. In my mind, I'd be thinking like, man, he's underrated. He be hooping right now. I agree with your premise, but for a different reason. I don't think his underrated view is from LA times, New Orleans times, or him being a Knick. So I think Julius Randle and Jimmy Butler are in the same category. All right, Jimmy Butler and Julius Randle. Now, before I get to that, right? So look at Julius Randle. He averages 25 and 10. Only 3 players in the NBA averaging 25 points and 10 rebounds is Julius Randle, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. That's it. So he's in good company. But the reason why I said that him and Jimmy Butler are in the same category, the difference between those 2 players, playoff success. Jimmy Butler is not a regular. Like, think about it. When Jimmy Butler was Chicago, did you look at him as a superstar, as a star? No.
No, right? I couldn't stand him actually.
Like, he was like on Julius Randle level, like where Julius Randle is right now. When you look at Jimmy Butler in Minnesota, right, when he goes to the Sixers, but in the playoffs, Julius Randle didn't show up. When they played the Knicks in the playoffs, right? They played 5 games. In the first game, he shot 26%, 3 turnovers. Second game, 31%, 4 turnovers. Third game, 13%, 3 turnovers. Fourth game, 36%, 5 turnovers. And the final game, 38%, 8 turnovers. Now, I know y'all in the comments saying don't put them in the same sentence. If Jimmy Butler had a playoff performance like Randall and never went back, y'all will be saying they're on the same level. Jimmy Butler is not considered a superstar, even with the playoff success. Think about that. The dude made it to the finals, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and we still don't put him in the superstar status. But one thing we could do, we could count on him to perform in the playoffs. Julius Randle hasn't shown that yet. So if Julius Randle, like you said, Tombo, were to come and make a playoff run, or like gotta get to Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Yeah.
Win 2 playoff series and play well while doing it, then people won't look at Julius Randle like we do right now, as far as like, oh yeah, we like they got Julius Randle, he's gonna do great in the regular season, but do we really fear the Knicks in the playoffs? Now Miami, we know Jimmy Butler ain't gonna do a lot in the playoffs, but guess what? You don't want to see Miami in the playoffs because we know Jimmy Butler could turn it up. So that's why I think he's underrated because he doesn't have any playoff success. That's my opinion.
I mean, that makes sense. And I see that the Common Warriors is out, man. They attacking you, but if they like sit back and realize what you're saying, the playoff success is what separates the two. Like if you think about it, if Joel Embiid would have stayed on his same path, where you remember his first 3 years in his career where he kept getting hurt, where everybody's like he showed signs of being great, but he's just not getting over that hump yet. If Joel Embiid would have stayed on that same path, then we could say all three of them would be in the same boat. Because it's like we know you got the potential to do something, but when it's time for you to do it, are you able to? And that's why you said Jimmy Butler's they're on the same bus, but they're on the same plane, but one of them is in first class. Jimmy Butler's in first class. Julius Randle right now is in coach. So yeah, he definitely needs that. And he was supposed to win that playoff series against the Hawks. They let Trae Young come back and do his thing. And now look who took the limelight, Trae Young. And now look who was in your not so average top 5 for saying they need to show up. Maybe you should have put Julius Randle there too.
Look, we got David in the comments. All right, we say he's not here physically, but he's here mentally. All right, because he's in my head right now. So look, Jimmy Butler. He brought out. Let me read his comment. Even in the regular season, Jimmy gave them a number 1 seed. Name me a player on the Knicks that's better than Bam. Name me is Eric Spoelstra a great coach? Is he an NBA champion?
Tom Thibodeau.
Does he have a lot to do with it? Yes, I believe so. Because Jimmy Butler was hurt not most of the year, a lot of the year. The whole team was hurt, but they were still able to win games without Jimmy Butler. So you look at Jimmy Butler's regular season, his best regular season, Tombo, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Julius Randle is doing that right now. And this was back in 2016 when he was in the Chicago Bulls. Since he's been in Miami, his best season is this year, which is 22 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. So the reason why they separate is because of playoff success. And that number 1 seed from last year, what did he do before that? He was a New York Knick. Julius Randle was a 5th seed, just like Miami Heat were a year before that, right? And they made a bubble run. But this year, who the better team, Tombo?
The Knicks.
The Knicks?
The Knicks.
Who having a better season this year?
Julius
Randle. But you're going to put Jimmy Butler above Randle because he has playoff success. That's all I'm saying.
See, we thought this was going to be a light show, but now I got to Joe, I got your back. First of all, comment warrior means, okay, for the folks who don't understand it, right? Comment warrior means you're in the comments going crazy right now. When you can just come on the show. We know you come on the show all the time, but we just saying you can come on the show. And that means you're going crazy in the comments. It's all good. But Julius Randle turned around the Knicks franchise. Do you remember what the Knicks franchise was? People forget. Y'all just act like the Knicks was good all this time. No, they were a laughing stock. Like people only like playing in New York because they knew the stars was coming out. They didn't care nothing about the team. Matter of fact, the Knicks were so bad that the Wizards played them on Christmas one time. Like they just did that because it's like, look, it's Christmas, it's New York. They had nothing else. After Porzingis left, they were done, son. So you got to think about that too. And when we talk about team leadership, like Julius Randle got there before half these guys got there, and look where the team's at now. Again, he helped turn that franchise around.
Good point, Tombo.
Like y'all forget about that.
This comment right here, he took Minnesota to the playoffs. I mean, once again, name a play like you just said, he turned the whole Knicks franchise around. And is Jimmy Butler playing with anybody like Karl-Anthony Towns? No, they had Karl-Anthony Towns. No. And who else they had? They had
somebody might say Bam.
Huh?
Somebody might say Bam. No, I'm saying Jimmy Butler.
Well, yeah, they had Karl-Anthony Towns, so they had a good team. They just needed a leader to get them over the float, right? Don't think about it. Jimmy Butler played with Joel Embiid. He played with Ben Simmons. He played with J.D. Redick, and then he got bounced in the second round. All right, so until Jimmy Butler went to Miami, that's when we start. When he's with Minnesota, ain't nobody said Jimmy Butler is like that. It's when he made our bubble run. When he made our bubble run, that's where Jimmy Butler got his name. Wiggins, there you go, Blaze. Wiggins, come on, bro. They're a nice team. They just need a leader over there. So that's all I gotta say. All right about that. But didn't make the playoffs before Jimmy. Jimmy been in the league since 2011. What you expect?
He's talking about the Warriors. The Timberwolves. He's saying the Timberwolves. Then he basically saying so. But Carl, you're not helping your argument here because you're basically saying the same thing that Joe said. They have the same trajectory. They both went to a franchise and they turned them around. Now Jimmy has way more playoff success with Miami. That's why he's on another level. He's like a step up. But other than that, you could say their careers about the same.
Take away the playoff success. A lot of people make an argument that Jimmy Butler is not better than Julius Randle because Jimmy Butler never had a great regular season. I mean, they were number 1 seed last year, but outside of that, what great regular season did Jimmy Butler have? Never really had a great one. He had an average one his whole career, just like Julius Randle.
I would say he and to that day when I know we're gonna move on, but to that day I would say his career was better after he left Chicago. Like he was on his trajectory in Chicago, but he was better after he left.
Yeah, he was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Played with D Wade 1 year. Played with Rondo. I mean, he got some good.
Derrick Rose when they was going up against the the Cavs. They had some good battles with the Wizards in the playoffs too. So like I remember young Jimmy Butler. Like he was just known for defense. His offense got better.
Jimmy Butler's not a statistical guy. You did not say that until he had playoff success. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference between him and Julius Randle. That's the difference. So I wish you was on because we would have went out today with this one.
We're gonna have to run this back.
I'm not gonna run this back. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.